Good morning, guys. Happy Sunday. It's Leanne here. Thanks for joining me for another What I Eat in a Day as a vegan on Slimming World. I just don't know why I just slurred then. Promise I haven't been drinking. I have had one coffee so far today. I'm just having a second and my kind of brunch. I think it's like 1 o'clock right now, just gone 1. And I'm going to mum and dad's for a roast dinner later. And that's at like 5, so it's kind of earlier than I would normally eat my dinner. So I was like, okay, I like funny meal times. So, so I'm just having this is a repeat of what I had the other day because I enjoyed it so much. So this is 2 wholemeal pittas, 1 for Healthy Extra B, 1 at syns, with, oh, my mouth is watering. And then I toasted one side, then I flipped it over and spread the untoasted side with Marmite, which actually spreads really easily because the pitta's hot. So that's a good tip. Like, it almost melts the Marmite. It's really weird. And then I've topped with 60 grams of my vegan cheese for both my Healthy Extra A's. I haven't melted it as much the other day because it started to run over the sides and I didn't want to make a mess everywhere. So it is what it is. Doesn't look quite as attractive, but you can see that's what it should be like. Focus. There we go. That's what it should be like. See, it's all bubbly where it was bubbling under the grill. So yeah, this is 7 syns. And that should keep me going until roast time later. And I've got my second coffee as well, which is 100 mils of Alpha and Barista in both of them, which is 1 syn. So that's 2 syns for my 2 coffees, 7 for this. That's 9 syns that I'm on so far today. At mum and dad's late afternoon, my mum made up a special vegan and Slimming World friendly tray for me for our roast dinner. The red onions did get slightly overcooked, but that's okay. Those and the potatoes were cooked in fry light and some seasoning. I've got my Linda McCartney red onion rosemary sausages there, which are free, and some stuffing balls. I've also got my gravy. I made up my own little portion. I used 3 teaspoons of granules for 1 syn a teaspoon, which is 3 syns. And then this is my plate. You can see all my lovely speed. I've got swede, carrot, cauliflower and broccoli. And then, of course, the roasted onion is speed as well. I've got my sausages, and my 3 little stuffing balls are 25 grams each before it was cooked at 2 syns each. So the total plate is 9 syns. And it felt like I wasn't missing out. And then for dessert, mum also got me some lovely fresh fruit. I had some pineapple, mango and strawberries, all syn-free. Please excuse my hair. I haven't gone bald. I've just tied it up out my way because I got too warm. So dinner earlier was lovely. The only thing I would change was I would have used a couple more syns and made myself a bit more gravy, or maybe even thinned down the gravy a bit, but then it might have been too thin and I don't like thin gravy. I like thick gravy. And even that was a little bit more thin than I normally would have it. Anyway, I'm a bit peckish, so I'm just going to have a banana. And I've also got my pot of cherry yogurt. This is 6 syns for the whole pot. I'll either eat a quarter, a half, or maybe even all of it. Who cares? I've got enough syns to cover it. I've had 18 so far today. So if I do have the whole pot, which I'm not sure that I will because it's quite a large amount, but if I did, then that would still put me at 24 syns for the day, which is absolutely fine. I get 25. So yeah, I'll update you in a little bit. Okay, guys, end of the day. Quick run through of syns, etc. Obviously 2 of my coffees, 7 at lunch for the pitta, 9 in total for my roast, along with plenty of speed vegetables. And I ate the whole yogurt. It was so nice, but it's such a big thing for 6 syns. Like, it's so good, honestly. I think I might start keeping them in a bit more. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, finishing on 24. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm tired. And yeah, perfectly on plan. Not necessarily an ideal day again, but the point is, I'm not sure how many of my, I can't get my words out. Oh, look at all the bugs. Well, partial bugs. I was just going to say, I'm not sure how many of my days are perfectly on plan. I was just thinking as I was saying that, how many of these videos do I end by saying, not a perfect day, but actually they are, because I'm on plan, I'm making good choices, and I'm within my syns, and I'm losing weight overall. You know, there are weeks where I have put on since I rejoined Slimming World just after Christmas. I think I had 4 weeks where I've gained in that time. But also, I've done really well in that time. I got the Slimmer of the Month in February. I lost 12.5 pounds in February overall and got the Slimmer of the Month in my group, so that was really good. And then, obviously so far in March, I'm doing all right. So, yeah, I don't know why I keep saying that. It's that kind of not self-flagellation's too strong a word. It's that putting yourself down thing, isn't it? Where you're just like, I'm not good enough, or someone's like, oh, that's really nice, and you're like, yeah, but it could do this, this, and this, and it's like, no, but it is good. I don't know, it's hard because I was obviously, because I was having a very obviously slimmed dinner today, my dad, I definitely get my weight stuff from my dad's side, and he's very much not into slimming groups and things like that, but at the same time he's very, I think, old school about his ideas of foods and weight and things like that. For example, yesterday he said something about porridge, and I said I love porridge. I said I really like it when you have a banana sliced up on top and a tablespoon of peanut butter. And he went, you don't need all that. And he went, well, actually, I have a banana as well. And I said, what? So what? I just don't need the peanut butter. And he was like, yeah, you don't need the bad stuff. And I was like, peanut butter isn't a bad thing. It's, I buy the 100% natural nut butters, and they've got healthy fats, they've got protein. A tablespoon of peanut butter is a measured amount. It's not a large amount, but it feels indulgent, and it's got the healthy fats in it that keep you feel fuller for longer. And I'm sure there's some vitamin-y things in peanuts that are good for you, but I can't remember what they are off the top of my head. And I couldn't then either, which was really annoying. But yeah, and then he was just sort of like, oh, well, it's very old school, anything with fat in is bad. But then this is the man who's only lost a stone in 6 months. So... and that's been like that. So yeah, I it is annoying though, because I'm like, he's like, oh well, and what was he talking about? He said, oh, what's that doctor who does the 5-2 diet? He said that Slimming World doesn't work. And he said all these other diets, and so I couldn't resist. I went, it's not a diet, Dad. It's a lifestyle choice. And my mum was said it at the same time as me. It was so funny. We were cracking up. But he was going, oh, yeah, well, he says it doesn't work. As soon as you stop doing it, you put on weight. I said, Dad, that's more so with diets like the 5-2 diet, where they're very restrictive, saying 800 calories in a day, which is incredibly restrictive. The minute you take your eye off the ball with something like that, I think that's far harder to stick to than something like Slimming World, where you are eating essentially normally, but you're choosing where to have the more higher fat, higher sugar items. Do you know what I mean? You're taking control in a sensible way and not having to do the calorie counting. But it's not just, this is why I like it, because you're not calorie counting, but even if you were calorie counting and you were staying under calories, you might not be getting a nice spread of foods. Do you know what I mean? You might be avoiding carbs, for example, or starches technically, like the breads and the pastas and things like that. And they're not bad things to have, especially the brown whole wheat versions. And yeah, I just find it so interesting because my dad is what year are we? 24. So he's 74. And but he's a young 74, but he won't be told in anything. But it's just it's always so interesting, having a diet talk. It's very frustrating because I always turn around and go, well, I'm the one losing weight and not you, so but that's apparently not an argument. And it's interesting that he just won't be budged. But I do think that people feel like that about Slimming World and probably Weight Watchers and stuff as well. Probably Weight Watchers more so, because that one you are counting absolutely everything, I believe, although I think they have a different plan these days where it's a bit more like Slimming World with the free foods. But yeah, it's always really frustrating, but it kind of internally reaffirms that I'm doing the right thing, because I don't know, I'm rambling, but it's just like, it's frustrating because like I'm losing weight consistently overall, and I've had 3 slimmer of the weeks, 2 slimmer of the weeks, I don't know, and the slimmer of the month. So I'm obviously doing well, and well in comparison to other people in the group as well. Admittedly, I've got more weight to lose than 90% of them, but still, there's a few who are up near me, although I'm definitely the biggest. But yeah, I just, the logic, it's just the logic of it. It's like, oh, well, so-and-so says that diet doesn't work. And it's like, well, we're losing weight on this diet. And loads of people do. And it's that's what I was trying to say to him. Like, it's a sensible eating plan because you're not restricting yourself. Like, you are, in a way, you're picking and choosing where to have the like extra bits, the fatty, sugary things, because that's the things that syns are applied to, and alcohol if you drink alcohol like he does. Because that was the other thing that started the whole thing, because it was just an interesting, I just looked it up for interest while I was there, which I shouldn't have done because it triggered the whole lot. But he's been drinking Guinness Zero lately, and he's found that he can actually go to the pub and have Guinness Zero, and he said he doesn't feel like he's missing out. So I think that's a fantastic thing. I looked it up on the app, and a pint of normal Guinness would be 10 syns, and the 440ml Guinness can, which is what he was having, is 3.5 syns. So that's brilliant. And he was like, oh, how is it that? Because it's only 70 calories. And I said, well, actually, if you do the syns estimated, they estimate 20 calories per syn. So actually it's slightly less, probably because it's low in sugar. But the point is, compared to a normal beer, it's a lot lower. And that's a substitution that he's chosen to make. Admittedly, probably not so much for weight, but more for his alcohol intake. Not that he has tons and tons, but he's a regular drinker and he always has been. But that's a substitute, and that's a valid substitute, and that's a good substitute. So he's choosing to have that. And I'm like, well, why is that different? I'm just rambling now, but yeah, it's interesting how people see different things and how people have really preconceived notions about things like Slimming World, where I'm the first to say, like, if I take my eye off the ball, I go off piste. But the point is, that's not a Slimming World thing, that's a me thing. The Slimming World eating plan itself is incredibly easy to follow. And any of us who are trying to lose weight should be able to follow it, no problem. The problem with anything, or people who are prone to putting on weight or whatever, is just the willpower. That's all it is. And with Slimming World, at least you get to have like some treat. Like, for example, last night I had a vegan Kit Kat. What a lovely treat. How many diets can you say that you can have a chocolate bar on and still lose weight? Like, imagine on that 800 calorie diet, like how many calories, there's maybe 220 calories for that chocolate bar ish. So like, that's a quarter of your day's intake gone. And yet that may well have been a quarter of my day's intake yesterday. No, it wouldn't have. No, that doesn't make any sense. I ate way more than 800 calories. I don't know what my point was. I'm just rambling. I'm tired. I need to go to bed. But anyway, tell me what you guys think. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.